Also
I
a
can
bit too.
sing it. I can draw. It's a pandemic, honey.
Hi, this is Charlie Lim,
And my name is Joie Tan, and we are both singer-songwriters.
and today we'll be playing Spill It, where we'll be answering questions about being musicians in the music industry.
So do you guys know each other?
No, actually, it's my first time meeting Charlie.
I only agreed to do this because of her, so yes.
Okay, so how long have you guys been in this industry?
Professionally, maybe over 10 years now. Yeah, since I released my first EP.
I don't know when to count it, but I made my YouTube channel in 2008, so it's been a while.
You guys know what you're doing today?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have an existential meltdown right here.
yeah, we'll cry.
Like these, the fact that they're skip, swap
Yeah.
and switch like kind of scares me because I don't know how tricky the questions will be, yeah, or how dark this will get. So I guess let's find out. To start the game, each player will draw 5 question cards from the deck. Players will then take turns choosing a question card from their hand to ask the opponent.
Players will also be given 3 action cards each, where they can skip, swap, switch questions at any point of time. For skip, you can skip the question. For swap, you can ditch the question and answer the next card from the deck. For switch, get your opponent to answer instead. Wow. Wow, I want to ask these questions!
These are quite mean questions.
Sure, ah.
No.
Then got content, ah.
That's true.
Let's start very easy, lah. Okay? How much do you earn on average?
Is that on the thing?
Yeah. How much do you earn on average?
Guys, I do okay. Like, I pay taxes. I'm not rich, if that's what you're asking. What was the meanest comment you've received about being a musician?
The typical like, oh, so you're doing music, ah? Like my aunt, literally my aunt. You know who you are. But she gives the biggest ang pao. So, hey, would you want your kids to be a musician?
I think it depends like how secure I am, I think, financially. And if I wasn't that secure, I'd probably be less inclined to encourage them doing that. But I won't stop them if like they're really passionate about it. But I would let them be aware of all the things that I weren't aware of when I first started. Okay, very, very generic one.
Okay.
Life without music is...
Meaningless. You know what I mean? Like, there's music in everything, anything, on the train or an announcement. Da-na-na-na. Like, excuse me, your Honda Civic. Like, you know that, oh, it's an announcement, my attention, I'll give my attention. Without music, there's no flow to life. Does looks matter in this industry?
Yes, but I think that's also a very rigid way of looking at things. There's like, you know, ugly cool, I think. You can embrace like, you know, stuff that is unconventional and make it your own thing. All right, we're getting political.
Ooh.
True or false, the support local culture is bad?
I think that the support local culture is bad if you're only supporting something because it's local. So people just like hashtag support local and then it's not even something that they would if it was international. So then why are you supporting it? Well, the problem then used to be they compare our music to like American music, UK music. Then we'll never get there because we're not Americans, we're not from the UK. Complete the sentence. Performing for exposure is?
I think it's painful, but sometimes necessary. I read a lot of things about like, don't do all this for exposure, you know, artists need to get paid too. I completely agree, you know. But it's not like if you were in any other job, you wouldn't do a favor for someone. Here's a fun one. How heavily auto-tuned is your music?
Oh my
I know
God.
it isn't.
Zero.
Like, yeah, your voice is like
Like, I don't
amazing and
need
your pitch is
that.
amazing. So
No, for real, I don't use it. Yeah.
Do you want to sing a line?
Yeah, prove to us.
What am I so bad about you, babe? What is the biggest risk you've taken as a musician?
I think just doing it continually for this long, I think the more you do it, sometimes the more tiring it gets. I thought it's like, you know, when you're first starting out, you know, you empty your bank account and all that. It's like very bold, but it's like you're young, you know, you can be a bit reckless. But I think the older you are, the more like considerations you have.
Yeah.
Have you ever pretended to like someone's work, but you actually hated it? Like so many artists like running through her mind now. Which one?
Like when you showed me your music video, I was like, oh, it's great. Definitely not that. The music video is great. But if someone sends me something and I genuinely don't like it, I won't say like, oh, I don't think it sounds good. It'll just be like oh, that's cool. Are you experimenting with this new sound? Or, you know, there are always ways to go about it. So have I ever pretended to like, no. What do your parents think about your career choice?
They were definitely concerned. In some ways, they also didn't really know how to help because, you know, when your kid wants to be an artist or a musician, it's like, where do you even find support for that? They're okay now. They're happy.
I mean, their son did National Day. That's as a Singaporean, that's like oh, okay.
That's probably the most tangible thing, I guess, that they
Yeah,
can
count
like,
your
recognize, right?
success on, yeah.
So, okay, what was the biggest lie you've heard in the industry?
That you need to do Chinese to be successful. Like, oh, you're such a good voice, don't waste it. Go and sing in China or like do Chinese music. You know, the market is bigger. The way I think about it is like the more you do that, then the less of good English music we have. True or false? Passion is more important than money.
If you asked me that 10 years ago, then yes. I think the older you get, like there has to be some practicality involved to sustain that passion, because passion will burn out eventually. You know, it's like infatuation with someone, right? Same thing with anything that you fall in love with. It will consume you entirely, and it's not great.
So poetic. You need to write a song about that. Passion
Me all my
cannot
songs.
sustain me anymore.
I promise you, she's a lot better. Would you rather lose your ability to sing well or lose your ability to write songs?
Lose my ability. Wow. Lose my ability to write songs.
Ooh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Because then I can still sing all my favorite songs.
Right, I would do the opposite.
If there is one thing you could change about the local music scene, what would it be?
So many. Like a lot of the lack of support that we talk about is probably a systemic thing.
Yeah.
It's from like education, from our long working hours. Like if we had more time to just relax, like I think people would probably spend more time checking out what's going on,
Yeah.
you know? Simple one, what is the most stressful part of your job?
Wow, it's like two things come to mind: burnout and having enough money for like the rest of the month. So especially as of late, like with COVID, I think it's making sure I can make enough because I have a dog. Because as much as you want to create, sometimes creating makes you give up a lot of money and you're not sure if you can get that back in time, you know? Wow, these are good questions. Most people perceive my job as...
Oh, is it?
Nice.
All right, how does it feel to be non-essential?
I think very realistically with that article, I don't think they're saying we're useless. I don't think that they're saying that we are not important. I think realistically right now what's important are the F&B outlets maybe, the healthcare workers, the people that are helping things stay and they're keeping order and keeping us safe from this virus, because whatever we do, we can do online.
Do you think the like backlash and response was like a bit too much?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like I think a lot of us were probably a bit too butthurt about it.
I was like, huh?
We're not that essential.
I'm not gonna cure COVID with my, like, you know.
Maybe it's just like, why even have that column? That's all.
But
like,
the outrage was just like,
Also
I
a
can
bit too-
sing it, I can draw. Like, I know, but it's a pandemic, honey. You know, everyone was just like, this is my work. I did this. I'm like, oh my god.
yeah.
What would you be doing if you're not a musician?
So I moved to Melbourne when I was like 14. I moved there with the intention to either study medicine, like my dad, or to just like do journalism. I was always worried, like growing up, like people ask me, like, oh, don't you want to follow in your dad's footsteps, you know? But my dad never gave me that pressure. Like he's very like stoic and quiet, and doesn't really say much. But I think there was one time he was like, telling me that he's very proud of me. He's like, I see one patient at a time, but it's like when you perform people, it's like
Wow.
you're treating many people, and like, he's never said anything like that before.
What a nice thing.
Yeah, so it's like, oh wow, okay, that means a lot. What was the worst experience you had in the industry?
Let's make it like funny. I played at a wedding, and then right at the wedding, they made us play "I Choose You" by Sarah Bareilles. They didn't tell us about this, so they said just repeat the chorus, and he would do this to me: volume down, volume up, go like this, non-stop. Okay, he's the MC, and I'm like, okay, I choose you. It's like that, right? I sang that for like 45 minutes because speak now, forever hold your peace. I object! And someone shouted, I object, and I'm on the mic like. And then Captain America comes out. He's like, I object to this marriage! Unless, are you going to shield her from her pain? And then the wife is horrified. The wife is like, what was your lowest point as a musician?
I think like when you have a mental block, when you don't have a job, and like you're supposed to be coming out with new material, obviously burnout from like playing too many shows, and you start questioning everything, like whether I should still be doing this. It really affected like my mental health for sure. But I'm glad I went through that. Like that lah. It's like that one. Have you regretted being a musician?
No, never. What is the most rewarding part of your job?
When someone actually tells you that your song means so much to them and it got them through a difficult time. I think that's when I'm like, okay, this is a tangible proof that what I do has some meaning.
I still go back to Light Breaks In when I need to cry. Like, the moment I hear the guitar, it's just fetal position and I'm like, yeah, straight up. Please listen to it. It's such a great song. Last question. What have you given up for music? Wow, a lot.
I've given up everything, but I've also gained everything. Yeah.
Given up everything, so gain everything. It's a great song. That's my favorite Chinese song.
I think I've made it when
I am happy. Yeah. Thinking about, when I was a kid, how I view success is only if I'm touring, if everyone knows my name. And to me, it was only when I'm recognized on an international level, then I am a singer, then I'm successful. But I think that's not the case because through music, I've met people who are behind the scenes. People don't know their names, but they are a reason why a lot of the things we listen to exist. With regards to music, you need to ask yourself, what is your definition of success? So, yeah, I think I made it when I'm happy because when you're happy, you know that if it gets better, okay. If it doesn't, I'm content.
I think it's very important to know that relevance is relative and that the world is a lot bigger than your perception of it, especially on what you see on social media.